Today, we are diving deep into one of the most powerful and honestly, most overlooked forces in all of our lives, the subconscious mind. We're going to explore the work of Joseph Murphy and figure out how you can tap into this incredible hidden power.
So let me just ask you something. Who's really in the driver's seat of your life? I mean, you probably think it's you, right? Your conscious thoughts, the deliberate decisions you make. But what if I told you that's not even close to the whole picture? All right, get ready for this, because this is the reality. That conscious mind of yours, the part you're aware of right now, it only runs about, get this, 5% of your daily life. Just 5. The other 95%, we're talking your habits, your gut reactions, your deepest beliefs, that's all on autopilot, run by your subconscious. It is pretty much always in control.
So what does that mean? It means you've got two different minds running the show at all times. So let's break them down. Let's get to know these two main characters, the conscious mind and its way more powerful hidden partner, the subconscious.
So check this out, because it's a huge paradox. On one side, you have your conscious mind. It's the smart one, right? It can reason, it can tell right from wrong, but, and this is a big but, it's also super weak. Its memory is terrible, holding on to a thought for maybe 15 seconds, tops. You know, just telling yourself I'm happy with your conscious mind, it doesn't really do anything. Now, on the other side, you've got the subconscious. And this mind is, well, stupid. It's not analytical at all. It will believe literally anything you tell it. But its memory is perfect, and its power is off the charts. We're talking powerful enough to affect your body, your emotions, and yeah, even your reality.
And this is the really critical thing to get. Your subconscious, that's where your phobias come from. Your anxieties, all those automatic behaviors, they live there. I mean, it is so powerful it can create actual physical symptoms. Seriously, there are documented cases of something called pseudociesis, or a false pregnancy. This is where the subconscious believes so strongly that a person is pregnant that their body, their actual body, starts showing the signs, like a swollen belly. That is the kind of raw power we are dealing with here.
Okay, so that leads to the million-dollar question, right? If this super powerful but kind of gullible mind is running 95% of the show, how in the world do we get in there and influence it? How do we program it to work for us, not against us?
Well, here's the twist. The one, the only tool you have to program that all-powerful subconscious mind is your supposedly weak conscious mind. Yep, the part that only controls 5% of your life is the gatekeeper to the other 95%.
So how does this actually work? What's the secret? The technique is something so simple, so basic, that we completely overlook its insane power every single day. It's just repetition.
It's a really straightforward process, but the results can be profound. Here's how it goes down. First, your conscious mind, your thinking mind, decides on an idea. Step 2, you repeat that idea consistently, over and over and over again. Then, step 3, after hearing it enough times, the subconscious, which doesn't argue, just accepts it as a fact. And finally, step 4, once that belief is locked in, your subconscious gets to work, changing how you see the world and how you act to make that belief your new reality.
Now, if you're thinking, I don't know about this, just hold on, because this is already being used on you every single day. You're being programmed constantly. Why do you automatically think Head & Shoulders for dandruff or Sensodyne for sensitive teeth? It's not a coincidence. Advertisers have spent millions repeating that connection until it's baked into your brain. Media does it too, normalizing certain behaviors by showing them again and again in shows you watch. Even big life choices like following the family career path, that's often just a result of seeing a pattern repeated your whole life. The technique works. The only question is, who's using it?
You want to see a masterclass in this? Okay, let's talk about the movie Focus. There's this incredible scene where Will Smith's character, who's a master con artist, sets out to subconsciously program another guy to freely and completely on his own choose one very specific number, the number 55.
And the setup is this insane high-stakes bet. He basically says, I bet you'll pick a number from any player on the field, and my girlfriend will guess what it is, for $2 million. I mean, it sounds completely impossible, right? A total long shot, just a game of chance.
Yeah, except it wasn't chance at all. It was a setup from the very beginning. For the entire 24 hours before the bet, they just peppered his environment with the number 55. But it was all subtle, just below his conscious radar.
His hotel room was 55. He saw it on license plates, on a bus ad that drove by, on a kid's jersey as he crossed the street. They even embedded it into the background music at the stadium. So by the time he had to choose a number, he thought it was a free choice, but his subconscious was practically screaming 55, 55, 55 at him.
Okay, so that is a perfect example of how other people can program you. But now, let's flip the script. How do you take back the controls and start programming your own reality to get what you want?
All right, first things first. You have to get this one critical rule down. Your subconscious, it's like a machine. It doesn't have an opinion. It doesn't judge. It doesn't know the difference between a good thought and a bad thought. It only cares about one thing and one thing only, repetition. So if you repeatedly tell yourself you're a failure, guess what? It's going to believe you, and it's going to help make that a reality.
And listen, this is not just some abstract theory. The person behind our source material shared his own personal stories, his own battles with this. After flying his whole life, no problem, he suddenly developed a crippling fear of it, a serious phobia. So for 2 solid years, he just consciously repeated, "I am not afraid," over and over. And you know what? Eventually, his subconscious got the message, it accepted the new programming, and the fear was just gone. He used the exact same technique to beat a 5-year-long struggle with anxiety just by affirming, "I am calm, I am safe," until that became his new truth. We all have these fears, and this just goes to show we have a tool to fight back.
Okay, let's wrap this up with one last story. It's a great one, about a student who really wanted something she was absolutely convinced she could never, ever have.
So she's walking with her professor, and she sees this really expensive handbag in a window. And she says, "Oh, I love that handbag, but I know I'll never be able to afford it." And boom, right there. That's a classic negative affirmation. She was actively programming her own mind for lack, for not having the thing she wanted.
So the professor gives her this super simple but totally game-changing piece of advice. He just says, reverse the sentence. Stop telling your subconscious that you can't have it. From now on, every time you think of that bag, just tell yourself that you will get it.
So what do you think happened? Well, a little while later, for her birthday, her boyfriend gave her, you guessed it, that exact handbag. Now, this isn't magic. It's not about wishing something into existence. Think about it. By changing her internal belief, she probably started acting differently. Maybe she talked about it more. Maybe she dropped hints without realizing it. Her subconscious, now believing the bag was coming to her, changed her behavior in all these tiny, subtle ways that led directly to her getting what she wanted.
So the takeaway here is incredibly clear. The ideas you repeat, whether you know you're doing it or not, they literally become the blueprint for the reality you live in. This power is already inside you, it's already working. So the only question that really matters is, what positive idea are you going to start repeating today? The power to change your life, it's right there waiting for you to use it.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more content.